Brian, Terry, there were 6 people inside the home when the fire started, and Austin Fire says they had to aggressively attack the home to get to the victims. I want to show you what the house looks like now. They say it is devastated on the inside. AFT says all 6 of those people were living in some parts of the property. A couple were in a shed in the back, and others were in the home that caught fire. Arson investigators are investigating, but AFD says that doesn't necessarily mean there was foul play, and whether or not it was a group of people starting a fire inside their homes to stay warm is still under investigation. AFD says even with icy roads and working in this freezing weather, they're doing everything in their power to get to emergency situations like this one.
These firefighters have been up for countless hours all night responding to emergencies, but we're still coming. When the citizens call, we're coming for the emergencies, and that's what our firefighters did today.
Austin Fire says they didn't find a smoke detector when they got to the fire, and AFD says their crews have responded to a lot of calls related to people trying to start fires inside their homes with things like a barbecue pit, and they're reminding you that that is very dangerous. Brian, Terry, back to you.
It's a tragic story. Marty Salazar, of course, call still going out as Marty just witnessed firsthand there in East Austin. Marty, thank you. Now, we have the locations on KVUE.com, but let's run through a few right here. We're talking about warming centers. The Palmer Event Center, sort of a main hub for Austin. We've been talking about that center for a couple of days now. Austin ISD also with 3 schools open for folks to warm up, charge phones and computers if you need to. The 3 places are open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. So there's not these aren't overnight stay places, just to go warm up and charge your phone if you need to. Russell Lee Elementary, Murchison Middle School, and Jocelyn Elementary School. The address is there on your screen. In Williamson County, Taylor ISD and the Bill Pickett Educational Foundation. 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. Again, these aren't overnight, but go for a while if you need to warm up a bit and charge your device. It's important to note when you go to these shelters, it's best you take your own food and your own blankets. Some might not have those to give out at this time. For more places that are opening up, you can head to our website. We're updating that constantly. That, of course, is KVUE.com.
Every source of power that the state of Texas has been compromised, whether it be renewable power such as wind or solar, but also, as I mentioned today, access to coal generated power, access to gas generated power also have been compromised, whether it be with regard to systems freezing up or equipment failures.
That, of course, Texas Governor Greg Abbott earlier this afternoon explaining how energy sources are under strain in the state. The governor ordering natural gas producers to not export out of state at this time until February the 21st. To allow power generators in the state to continue working by purchasing that natural gas. The governor says he's also encouraging the licensing board to issue provisional licenses for out-of-state plumbers to help with any broken pipes in the state of Texas.
We know that's going to be needed in the coming days for sure. There is no estimate on when power will be fully restored, and that is according to ERCOT. This as the cold is not letting up, staying below freezing through the night, expected again tonight. KVUE senior reporter Tony Plahetsky joins us now live with the very latest on the power situation here in Central Texas. Tony?
And Terry, now we're at a point where it is not just power. We are also now contending with water issues. I want to go through the latest information on power first, and then we'll talk about water. Austin Energy did confirm this morning that many customers sustained loss to power overnight and the overnight hours after frozen precipitation moved through the area. But later in the afternoon today, they said that they had gotten permission from ERCOT to begin restoring some power to 16 circuits across the city. We don't know how many homes or how many customers that will impact, but Austin Austin Energy also warned that just because your power may be restored because of permission from ERCOT, that does not mean you will necessarily keep the power. It will depend on what goes on with the state's power grid. Now, with regard to water, Austin Water Utility said earlier this afternoon that they had issued boil water notices for Southwest Austin and for residents in the Lost Creek neighborhood. They also warned that people should no longer drip their faucets. I know that's advice that we were given earlier in the week, but they said that dripping faucets was causing a demand on the water system across the entire city, and that people are at a point now that we need to not run our faucets. The city could not rule out the possibility of a boil water notice citywide within the next few hours, depending on how it goes. As you can imagine, we have continued to talk to people who are being impacted both by the power loss and now the latest water issues. There continues to be a lot of frustration out there.
My house is 37 degrees inside. It was 39 yesterday. Today it's 37.
The pantry that's underneath the staircase, I call it my little igloo. I get all my coats and blankets and pillows, and my dog and I are in there.
In residential areas, people are freezing. We've had feral cats in the neighborhood that are frozen. People are finding frozen feral cats. That's how bad it is.
Terry and Brian, just to underscore how frustrated people are and how dire the situation is increasingly becoming, Austin Energy's general manager this afternoon asked that people not harass Austin Energy crews as they go out to try to help restore service. They said some of those crews have been harassed, they have been taunted, they have had things thrown at them, and officials are urging and imploring people not to do that. And another sign of the frustration, really not only just here in Austin but across the entire state, ERCOT this afternoon deleted the names and bios of all of their board members after they were receiving threats, according to ERCOT.
Tony Plahetsky reporting live for us. Tony, thank you for joining us with the very latest update there. More help is on the way. The Biden administration is providing generators and preparing to move diesel fuel into the state for backup power to critical infrastructure. Talking about communications, hospitals, water. FEMA is giving Texas water and blankets to help out as well.
Some Texas lawmakers are calling for an investigation not just of ERCOT, but of the state agency that oversees it. State Representative Chris Turner, who is the House Democratic Caucus chair, called the power outages, quote, a catastrophic failure of leadership. He wants lawmakers to investigate ERCOT and the Public Utility Commission, which oversees ERCOT, and the PUC commissioners who are appointed by Governor Greg Abbott.
I want to understand why ERCOT and the PUC and the governor's office didn't have a better understanding of how bad this was going to be. Because here's the thing, the explanation I've been given, and that we heard yesterday from ERCOT, is they didn't, the forecast of how much power generation would be lost was wrong. They thought they were going to lose some power, and they ended up losing a lot more power than they thought on Sunday night. And my question is, why is that? Because the weather forecast was accurate.
A lot of questions. Representative Turner says he believes lawmakers will pass meaningful reform on energy this session. They have made that a priority. We want to get you updated now on the latest on the forecast. Boy, it's just been a cold day, right, Brian? I mean, we stepped out there. It's chilly.
And he nailed it. The weather forecasts have been accurate, thanks to Erica Lopez. And another forecast tonight that everybody wants to pay attention to, Erica.
That's right. We're talking about one more round, the very last round of frozen ice, more snowfall on top of images such as these. We're all still dealing with the icy roads that will continue. And yeah, our temperatures, they've been struggling to make it above freezing throughout today. I want to show you what the temperatures are like right now. Most of us are actually just below the freezing mark. Our site at Camp Mabry, where we collect data, it's actually down, likely because of the ice and the snow. So I can't show you the official temperature here in Austin at this time. Crews have not been able to access that site because of the ice and snow, but we're likely at or below freezing throughout the entire day. Just no sun, no warmth to thaw any of this ice or snow. And on top of that, we remain under not only a winter storm warning, but also winter weather advisory. This is for the next snowstorm that is moving in overnight tonight into tomorrow. Now, the good news is that some computer models have been backing off on accumulation. We're expecting here in our viewing area. We're still expecting heavy snow for areas just south of us. So I think it'll be safe to say that we can expect up to an inch across the viewing area, some isolated areas, maybe a little more. But computer models are trending that the heavier snowfall accumulation would be south of us for our neighbors along I-35 corridor in areas such as San Antonio. It's still something that we'll have to watch. I just wanted to show you some positivity in the forecast. The weekend forecast. Even by Friday, sunshine's back. We may still be in the 30s though, but 50s, 60s for this weekend. Roads will start to thaw out. We'll be able to be safer, at least trying to get through still this very dangerous situation with power outages and our water concerns. But at least this warmth will be something that we're all looking forward to and we're expecting in our weekend forecast.
Hopefully make some of those homes without power a little more comfortable this weekend. Still ahead here on KVUE News at 5, there are several water notices that you need to be aware of.
As if the power issues weren't enough, and several stores closing their doors where you can go if you need to grab groceries. That's straight ahead. At 5, we talked about this a few minutes ago. More than 500 broken water pipes reported just yesterday in Austin alone. As the weather warms up, experts say we could see more pipes bursting around Austin. Austin Water asking customers to turn off your faucets. Don't drip them now to try and preserve water pressure. A handful of Central Texas communities under a boil water notice this evening. This is only a short list in parts of Austin, Bastrop, Dripping Springs, parts of Georgetown, Leander, Pflugerville, parts of western Travis County as well. We have a full breakdown for you at our website, KVUE.com.
I got a viewer that told us that I think part of Wimberley, too, also has a boil water notice today,
Unfortunately, that list is going to grow.
for sure. We are dealing with another cold night ahead of us. Chief Meteorologist Erica Lopez has been tracking this latest system that's headed our way, and I think they're already urging people in the hill country, Erica, to stay off the roads tonight.
We're talking about more frozen precipitation. It's already basically not safe at all. You shouldn't be on the roads at all. And on top of that, that's just going to be prolonged because of additional frozen accumulation that will be added with the next winter storm. But it is the last round of frozen precipitation. Let's talk about temperatures. This is why it's going to continue to be very dangerous because our overnight low is still in the 20s. This is what we woke up to this morning, 24 degrees at Camp Mabry, 23 in Austin. And that's a big improvement from where we were the last couple of nights, which were in the single digits. Live look outside on our Oasis cam. It has been day after day that you can still see snow on the sometime islands out there. And today that continues to be the case because our highs have only been at the freezing point. On top of that, we haven't seen sunshine. Cloudy skies continue, and I think they're going to stick around with the next winter storm moving in. As a matter of fact, temperatures across the viewing area, mainly all are at or below freezing. Only exception, San Marcos, just a degree. Really not doing much to improve our situation right now. LaGrange at 33 also. So your hourly forecast, temperatures are just going to get colder tonight yet again from where we are right now. We're going to drop to the 20s and notice rain chances frozen precipitation chances are going to increase as the night goes on. That's why we remain under a winter storm warning until 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. On top of that, a winter weather advisory. So the National Weather Service has downgraded the winter storm warning to an advisory for accumulation that's expected to be a little less than what was anticipated, but not going to change the ice on the road factor. It's still going to add that light coating of ice, whether it's freezing rain or another fresh layer of snowfall. It's still going to be dangerous for us across Central Texas. So let's talk about the timeline. Tonight into tomorrow's tonight is when I expect the snow to move in, lasting through the majority of tomorrow. And again, this is the last round. I think by late tomorrow evening, we'll start to see that round clear out, and we'll begin to see the skies clear also, eventually leading us to a mostly sunny day on Friday with no conditions bringing more frozen precipitation to Central Texas, and our temperatures are finally going to warm up to the upper 30s, if not low 40s. And the warming trend continues. Take a look at your weekend forecast. I'll get to the weekend forecast in a sec. Here's a look at that snowfall accumulation, up to an inch possible. 1 to 2 inches is possible for area south. Now here's the weekend forecast, what we're all waiting for. 50s back in Saturday. Sunday, we're back to the 60s. Now, I do see a front pushing through late Sunday into Monday, which will give us a 20% chance of rain. But you know what? It's a weaker front coming in from the Pacific, not bringing Arctic air, and it would be bringing moisture in the form of rain. Music to our ears, right? So also I want to take you out to the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. That's going to give us our long range forecast models showing that the overall trend for the rest of February, above average temperatures. Looking forward to that. 7-day forecast. Here's what we're tracking. The warming trend continues after we thaw out from the 30s. We'll still be near the 40-degree mark by Friday. I think most of the day we will be in the 30s. Plenty of sunshine for the start of the weekend and even into next week. No sign of snow. No sign of ice. I've seen a lot of people on social media say, I am never going to complain about a triple-digit day again. And I'm just going to, hold them to that as we get closer to the summer.
Yeah. I think we all kind of feel that way, for sure.
No doubt. Thanks, Erica.
Thank you. We know internet is spotty right now. Charging your phones can be an issue with no power, but we do want to remind you that you can get the latest information on the weather conditions and power outages through our KVUE app.
Now, if you know of anyone who doesn't have access to the app, you can share the information we're putting out there. It could save lives. The KVUE app is free to download. It's in the App Store and on Google Play. Again, free to download. A lot of information on there. Matter of fact, pretty much everything you see on the news goes on the app. So there's a lot of information there if you'd like to share.
We know a lot of you are having a tough time finding a hot meal or any food at all.
So difficult. We're going to take you through some of the grocery stores in the area, the restaurants. They're doing their best to stay open during this emergency. That's coming up.
Stock up on food and supplies during the storm. So here are just some of the stores that we've confirmed were open today. Many H-E-B locations opened from noon to 5 p.m. So many of those are already closed. Central Market's South Lamar location is open for another hour. Walmart also had several stores open today, and Target's online store locator says several spots are open until 10 o'clock tonight. But again, you may want to call ahead. Wheatsville Co-op also has a location open until 10 tonight. Earlier today, lines wrapped around the building at the H-E-B and the Miller development. KVUE has been seeing similar lines at Target locations and other H-E-B sites for the last 2 days. And keep in mind that some of these locations may be low on supplies because obviously with these conditions we've been experiencing on the roads, the trucks having difficulty getting into those stores. We'll continue to update that list of stores that are open. You can find it all on our website. Just go to KVUE.com and click on this story.
Of course, many restaurants around town and throughout Central Texas are without power and water right now. Others don't have employees that are able to safely make it to work and their locations, but there are a few places that are open. We've been working to track them down to bring them to you. Some restaurants we've found were even offering free meals to people, like Bird Biscuit in East Austin, Veracruz in Central Austin, Southside Flying Pizza and Cilantro in the Miller neighborhood, also offering free hot meals to those who need it. Many of these restaurants able to open up and serve the community with the help of Deep Eddy Vodka, Kendra Scott, Red Bull, Ranch Rider. Those companies actually donated money to provide Austinites with meals from those locations. We're updating the list of open restaurants constantly. That, of course, on our website, KVUE.com. Another silver lining there, the people that are helping the people.
So many of those, yeah. Local business owners there, awesome to see.
No kidding.
Looking at some of these pictures from around our area, you see the snow covered by the ice again.
It's tough to even see it. Stick with us after the break. Our coverage of this dangerous winter storm continues.
Let's take one last look at your 7-day forecast tonight into tomorrow. The last round of frozen precipitation, the possibility of some freezing rain transitioning to snow overnight. And we're keeping it at a 60% chance of snow, but accumulation not that great, up to an inch. Area wide spread, but I think isolated areas may see a little more the further south you are. Then we thaw out 50s and 60s by the weekend.
Another cold night ahead for folks. We're right here on KVUE. Hope you're back with us at 6.